The Guardian is reporting that Facebook has taken down legal marijuana pages from businesses in states that allow recreational weed. They report Facebook has recently launched an aggressive campaign to rid its sites of some cannabis-related material, deleting or suspending dozens of accounts operated by marijuana businesses, most of which had operated for years without so much as a warning about offensive material. A spokesperson for Facebook declined to comment on the record about any of these cases or the specifics of their policies toward legal marijuana businesses, only offering the following. These pages have been removed for violating our community standards, which outline what is and is not allowed on Facebook. All right, so there's no consensus as to why they did this, but two of the theories are, one is they fear racketeering charges from the federal government, so they're taking it down because they don't want to get sued. And another one is it could be competitors flagging the material to have it removed and give themselves an advantage. I don't think it's that one. I think, if anything, it's more likely to be the first one. Or there's some other reason which I haven't articulated here, and they don't, lay out there in the article. But either way, I'm against it. And this is the problem when you have weed in this legal gray area that it's in right now. So a lot of people don't understand the way our system of government works and the way the Constitution works, and you have this thing called the Supremacy Clause, which means that the federal government and federal laws override state laws. It's, the same reason why when the federal government decides, if the federal government decides to pass gun laws, you can't just have Republican politicians in Louisiana and Mississippi say, we disagree. Oh, okay, so you made a universal background check. We don't care. We're not going to abide by that because we're deciding states' rights. We're deciding against it. No, that logic doesn't make sense because the federal government overrides the state governments. In the same way, segregation is another example of this, guys, where that was the argument made by the Mississippi sheriffs and the Mississippi conservative politicians, where they said, they didn't make the argument, no, like we would like to continue to keep blacks as official second-class citizens because they're inferior. They didn't come out and say that. What they said is states' rights. This is the tyranny of the federal government cracking down on the state government, and we have a right to do our business however we want to, and we decide, hey, we still want to keep blacks and whites separate, but equal. So piss off, federal government. Now, if you destroy that precedent, that's horrible, because states' rights is going to be used more for negative stuff than for positive stuff. So, you want a system where the federal law overrides state law. But every once in a while, there are issues where it appears to backfire and where the federal government is dead wrong and the state government is seemingly correct. One of those issues is marijuana. So the answer is you need to have consistency between the state laws and the federal laws. On the federal level, marijuana is still illegal. And Colorado and Washington and Alaska and some other places, it's legal. But again, all you need is a president who decides, I'm against it, and then he could crack down and shut it all down tomorrow. So you need to have the federal government, become more enlightened on this and legalize it, or at the very least decriminalize it, and then you wouldn't have to worry about stuff like this. But again, it's a difficult thing because there are other factors at play too. Lobbying, for example. You have pharmaceutical companies, you have alcohol companies, you have tobacco companies, you have people in the DEA. These are people who view legal marijuana, as either competition to them or a direct threat to their job. If you legalize weed, a lot of people in the DEA are just going to lose their jobs. So they're trying to hang on for dear life here to the wrong policy. So, you have to override all the problems that are built into the system and all the momentum going in the direction of keeping weed illegal. We're starting to break through now, but it's not enough, man. We really got to push through harder, and we really have to drag the federal government to the position that makes sense. And I don't know about you guys, but I get tired of waging that battle because it's so obvious what the right policy is. 58% of the American people want it legalized already. 58%! But we don't have it yet on a federal level. So let's wake up, let's get it done, and then we don't have to worry about stuff like this ever happening.